I'm 77 years old, and I'm about to tell you the one thing that destroyed my entire life. It wasn't drugs, it wasn't gambling, it was something far more dangerous. And I guarantee you're doing it right now. If you don't stop, you'll end up exactly like me, alone, bitter, full of regret, and it'll be too late to fix it.
My name is William Harrison, and when you look at me, you probably see a successful old man. I wear custom-tailored suits from Savile Row. I live in a penthouse overlooking Central Park. I eat at restaurants where they know my wine preference before I sit down. From the outside, I look like I won at life. But here's what you don't see. You don't see that I haven't had a real friend in over 20 years. You don't see that I eat every single meal alone. You don't see that when I go to bed at night, the silence in my apartment is so heavy, it feels like it's crushing my chest. Last month was my birthday. 77 years on this planet. Do you know how many birthday cards I got? 0. Do you know how many phone calls? 1. From my dentist's office, reminding me about my cleaning. That's what my life has become, and it's nobody's fault but mine. See, I made one critical mistake that poisoned everything. I waited. I told myself I'd do things when I was ready, when the timing was perfect, when I had prepared enough. And while I was waiting for perfection, life passed me by. Let me tell you about Sarah, because she's the ghost that haunts every empty room in this apartment. It was October 1973. I was 25 years old, walking through Greenwich Village after a rainstorm. The streets smelled like wet concrete and fallen leaves. I ducked into a small art gallery to get out of the cold, and that's when I saw her. She was standing in front of a massive abstract painting, completely lost in it. She had this wild, curly red hair that kept falling into her face, and she kept pushing it back with paint-stained fingers. She wore ripped jeans and an oversized sweater with holes in the elbows. She looked like beautiful chaos. I fell in love with her instantly. Not the shallow kind of love, the deep kind, the kind that makes your hands shake and your heart race.
But I didn't talk to her. Why? Because I wasn't ready. I thought I needed to become someone impressive first, someone worthy of a woman like that. So I left that gallery and I made a plan. I spent the next 4 months transforming myself. I read every art book I could find. I memorized the works of Picasso, Rothko, Pollock. I started wearing black turtlenecks like the artists in Soho. I practiced conversations in the mirror until they sounded natural and effortless. I rehearsed my entire personality like an actor preparing for a Broadway show. Finally, after 4 months of preparation, I went back to that gallery. I had my opening line memorized. I knew exactly what I'd say about the paintings. I'd even brought a sketchbook to prove I was creative. I walked through the door, confident and ready, and there she was. Same wild hair, same paint-stained fingers. But she wasn't alone. There was a guy with her, skinny, messy hair, wearing a faded Velvet Underground t-shirt and jeans with actual holes from wear, not fashion. He looked like he'd just rolled out of bed. And Sarah was laughing. Not a polite laugh, a real laugh, the kind that makes your eyes crinkle and your whole face light up. I watched him say something close to her ear. I watched her playfully shove his shoulder. I watched him take her hand completely naturally, like it was the easiest thing in the world. And I understood right then what I'd lost. While I was reading art theory and rehearsing conversations, this guy had just shown up and been himself. While I was polishing my performance, he was living authentically. While I was waiting to be perfect, he was being real. I turned around and walked out of that gallery, and I never saw Sarah again. Except I did see her 3 years later in the New York Times wedding announcements. Sarah Martinez married James Chen, a sculptor from Brooklyn. There was a picture. It was him, the guy in the Velvet Underground shirt. I cut out that announcement and kept it in my wallet for 18 years. Every time I opened my wallet, there it was, a reminder of what happens when you wait instead of act. But Sarah was just the beginning of my mistakes. When I was 26, I had an idea for a business. This was 1974, and I wanted to create energy-efficient buildings before anyone was even talking about sustainability. I had sketches, I had projections, I had a complete business plan typed up on my electric typewriter. It was brilliant, genuinely innovative, but I didn't launch it. Why? Because I wanted to wait until I had more capital, more connections, more experience. I put that business plan in the bottom drawer of my desk and told myself I'd do it when the time was right. That business plan is still in that drawer, 48 years later. The pages have turned yellow, the edges are brittle. Sometimes I take it out just to torture myself with what could have been. Do you know how much the sustainable architecture industry is worth now? Billions with a B. But I was going to wait for the perfect moment. When I was 32, I had a chance to move to Paris. A firm there wanted to hire me. It was my dream. I'd always wanted to live in Europe, to walk along the Seine, to sketch the architecture of Haussmann's boulevards. But I said no. Why? Because I wanted to wait until I spoke better French, until I had more savings, until I felt more prepared for such a big move. I never got another chance, and I never made it to Paris. When I was 40, a colleague invited me to join his poker night, just a group of guys getting together every Thursday, playing cards, drinking beer, talking about life, real friendship. But I said no. Why? Because Thursday was my night to work on my portfolio, my night to prepare for the success that was surely coming. That colleague, he's still friends with those guys 40 years later. They vacationed together, their kids grew up together, they were best men at each other's weddings. And me? I worked on a portfolio that never mattered. I could tell you 100 more stories just like these. The woman I didn't ask on a date, the trip I didn't take, the risks I didn't accept, the life I didn't live. All because I was waiting, preparing, getting ready. My mother did this to me, if I'm being honest. She was British, ice cold, obsessed with propriety. When I was 6 years old, I fell off my bicycle and scraped my knee badly. Blood was running down my shin. I ran to her, crying, wanting comfort. She didn't hug me. She handed me a handkerchief and said, "Stop that noise, William. Preserve your dignity." So I did. I preserved my dignity for 77 years. I built walls made of good manners and appropriate behavior. I kept everyone at a safe distance. I never let anyone see me vulnerable or uncertain or afraid. And now I'm the king of an empty castle. Last year I had to have a minor surgery. Nothing serious, just a routine procedure. But on the hospital forms there was a line that said emergency contact. I stared at that line for 15 minutes. Who could I write? I don't have family. I don't have close friends. I finally wrote down my attorney's name. My attorney. That's who they'd call if I died on the operating table. Do you understand how devastating that is? To be 77 years old and realize you've built
nothing that matters? No relationships, no legacy, no love? Just money in a bank account that I'll never spend, and an apartment full of furniture that nobody else will ever sit on. A few weeks ago, I went to my regular coffee shop. There's a young guy who works there, maybe 30 years old. Nice kid. He told me he's been writing a screenplay for the past 2 years. I'm almost ready to show it to people, he said. Just needs a little more polish. And my heart broke for him, because I saw myself, that same fear, that same need for perfection, that same waiting for the mythical moment when you'll finally be ready. I wanted to grab him by the shoulders and shake him. I wanted to scream, "You'll never be ready. Nobody's ever ready. Just do it now before you wake up and you're 77 and it's too late." But I didn't say that. I just smiled politely and said, "That's great. Keep at it." Because even now, even after everything I've lost, I'm still too careful, still too proper, still preserving my dignity. Here's what I need you to understand. The thing I wish someone had told me when I was young. You will never feel ready. You will never feel prepared. You will never have all your ducks in a row. That feeling you're waiting for, that confidence, that certainty, it doesn't come from waiting. It comes from doing. The woman you want to ask out, you're not going to feel more confident next month. Ask her now. The business you want to start, you're not going to have more capital or more knowledge or better timing next year. Start it now. The trip you want to take, you're not going to have more time or more money when you retire. Book it now. The friend you want to reconnect with, you're not going to find the perfect words to say. Call them now. Because I promise you, the pain of rejection fades. The pain of failure heals, but the pain of never trying, that pain grows, it compounds, it turns into regret, and regret is a cancer that eats you from the inside out.
I'm 77 years old. If I'm lucky, I have maybe 10 more years, and I would give every penny I have, every possession I own, every achievement I've earned, for one chance to go back and just be brave, just once. I would give it all to talk to Sarah in that gallery. I would give it all to start that business when I had the idea. I would give it all to move to Paris when I had the chance. I would give it all to say yes to friendship instead of no to connection. But I can't go back. Time only moves in one direction, and that's the cruelest truth of all. So I'm standing here in my expensive suit in my empty apartment, and I'm begging you, don't be me. Don't be the person who waits. Don't be the person who prepares their whole life for a moment that never comes. Be messy, be embarrassing, be imperfect. Start before you're ready. Fail spectacularly if you have to. Make mistakes, look foolish, risk rejection. Because I promise you, when you're 77 years old, looking back at your life, you won't regret the things you tried and failed at. You'll regret the things you never tried at all. You'll regret the love you didn't pursue, the dreams you didn't chase, the risks you didn't take, the life you didn't live. Don't make my mistake. Don't wait for perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. Start today, right now, this moment. Whatever that thing is that you've been putting off, whatever that dream is that you've been preparing for, whatever that fear is that's been holding you back, do it today. Because one day you'll be sitting where I'm sitting, and the only question that will matter is this: did you live? Or did you just wait? I waited, and now I have nothing but regret and an empty apartment. Don't end up like me. If this story made you feel something, if it reminded you of something you've been putting off, do me a favor. Leave a comment below and tell me what that thing is. Write it down, make it real, and then go do it. Also, if you think someone you know needs to hear this, someone who's been waiting too long, share this with them. Sometimes we all need a 77-year-old man to remind us that time is running out. I'll be reading every comment. Maybe your story will inspire someone else to finally take action. Now go, stop watching, start living.